Hello, everyone. Welcome to the February version of Tech After Hours. This is a monthly series presented by the California School for the Blind's Assistive Technology Department. This month, we're talking specifically about Chromebooks, and next month, we'll have another Tech After Hours where we'll be talking about artificial intelligence. Please join us for that. Before I introduce the other tech people, I want to remind you that we are available to help you or to work with you. We can come to your school possibly to work with you, present a workshop, and we're here at CSB available to offer you assistance with assistive technology. I am joined tonight by the other members of the AT team at CSB, Allison Mello and Max Avendano. Okay, and we are responding to questions that have been submitted to us about Chromebooks by you. And I have the first question, which is just asking about some of the major differences between Windows computers and Chromebooks. So, just with broadly, a lot of times you'll hear people say that Chromebooks are kind of for lighter use for people who just need to do sort of light productivity tasks, email and some light word processing, maybe watching videos, doing Google searches. And Windows are for more intensive projects, so more intensive things where you might need to do more heavy duty word processing or even using serious business applications or gaming or video editing, things like that. As far as just the differences between the actual computers themselves, so Chromebooks tend to they don't have a lot of internal memory. Google's idea is that you will store a lot of your stuff in the cloud, and that a lot of your the programs that you use and stuff will be in the cloud. So the Chromebooks don't have a lot of internal memory or very much or a lot of processing power compared to a Windows computer generally. Windows computers have tend to have a lot more internal storage because you are loading your programs directly onto the computer, or they're designed for that more, and they have more processing power, so they can run those programs like the like a, Adobe software or your heavy duty gaming software, things like that. Um, some benefits of Chromebooks are that they can be less expensive. They tend to have long battery life. Windows computers, like I said before, are can do more. Basically, they have more processing power, more memory, um, and so you're able to do kind of more heavy duty productivity work with a Windows computer. So those are just some basic differences between the two. Specifically for our purposes, talking about um, ac accessibility and having blind and visually impaired students use these computers. Um, Chromebooks do come with their own built-in accessibility software, ChromeVox. It's it's usable. It's something that you can use to operate the Chromebook. Um, with Windows computers, I think the big advantage for our population of students is um, that it works well with JAWS and NVDA, which is a free screen reader that's similar to JAWS in a lot of ways. Not only does that work well, those programs have been designed really to be kind of integrated with Windows, and for many years, so over decades, really. Um, so, and JAWS is still kind of the standard for people who are working, um, or even in like university environments. It's kind of the standard screen reader. Um, There's also a lot of support over the years. There's like a kind of a big community has been built to support uh, JAWS and a big community of JAWS users. So there's a lot of support and a lot of you have a big community to work with JAWS. That's not to say that Chromebox doesn't also have support and community groups, but it hasn't been around as long, and so it's just a little bit different in that way. So those are kind of some of the major differences. Yeah, and I think our next question is it Max?
Yeah, I can take that one if you still need a little bit of time, Allison. Looking like a yes.
I do.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I am going to demo essentially the navigation of Google Drive um as a person who's using simply JAWS as you learn it initially, and then as a person who has gone and mastered JAWS and then has moved on to using native shortcuts that are inherently placed by Google for users to increase efficiency and productivity. So I am going to start by sharing my screen. But however, share sound. I do need to turn on JAWS first, so 1 second. Okay, and share
Press F6
there.
to switch between.
Okay, so I'm starting on a fresh
Show
tab
thumbnail video
as if
selected.
I were not signed into
Collapse.
anything, so that you can also get this experience.
Participants.
I like to start by getting to the address bar by using Control and L if for whatever reason I haven't, or I have moved from it.
Control L. New incognito
Although
tab
I
dash Google
guess it
Chrome.
would help if I was in the
Control
tab.
L. Address and search bar edit.
Go.
Blank. Type and text.
And then
v.google.com. Selected. Drive. Enter.
drive.google.com.
Google Drive. Share files online with secure cloud storage. Google.
And then I want to
Link open the
find
Google Workspace page. Link skip the main content. Link open the Google Workspace page. Link open the AI page. Link open the sign into Google Drive page in a new tab. Link open the try Google. Enter. Google Drive. Share files online with secure cloud storage. Vertical bar. Google Workspace. Link open the try Google Drive for work page. Google Drive open. Back. Google Drive. Share file. Google Drive. Share. Enter. Google
okay.
Drive. Sign dash. Google Drive.
And then
Sign dash.
I'm gonna do
Invalid. M. Period.
oh wonderful.
Event.
It's
Autofill.
already
Enter.
set,
Google Drive. Enter. Main region.
auto completed.
Main region. Enter your password.
Great.
Password edit. Blank. Type and text. Autofill is enter. IMAX. Main region. 2-step verification to help keep your account safe.
Right, because we have multi-factor authority or security. I need to give it authority. So I'm going to respond to this prompt on my phone.
2-step verification to help keep your account safe. Google wants to make sure it's really you trying to sign in. Main region. 2-step verification to help keep your account safe. Google wants. JAWS and menu collapsed. My Drive dash Google Drive dash Google Chrome.
Okay. So when you are in Google Drive as someone who is using JAWS, you know by now, right, that you have edit fields that you can access with the E key. You have buttons that you can access with the B key. And you have regions that you can access. You have tables, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And each one of those is accessible through JAWS. So I'm going to start with the heading just because I like to find or I like to know where I am and find my way that way.
Folders and views heading level 2.
So I'm finding folders and views.
Graphics the top. Folders and views heading level 2.
And what you'll find is that there's not that many headings
Graphics the
actually.
top. Folders and views heading level 2.
You'll hear this message and the sound to indicate that you're at the end of that element. And so, okay, great. So thinking if I only found one heading, then the next thing I want to do is find maybe a specific file. So I would do
Graphics the top. Search and drive edit combo. Blank.
E for edit box to find the search bar and then activate it with
Search and drive
enter.
edit.
And then I would type in the specific thing that I want. In this case, we'll go with AT schedule.
Schedule. Enter. Search results dash Google Drive. Show side panel toggle button pressed. To toggle the state, press space bar.
And then
Main
you
region.
have
Name.
Your search results. And so then you want to get to the actual area where the documents are. And people like to use lots of different things. The most common one I see.
Item list. Grid with 5 columns and 20 rows. Item list. Sort button. View sort options. To act. Show side panel toggle button pressed. To toggle the state, press space bar.
And I don't know if you can tell, but there wasn't necessarily an indication that I am in the area where my documents are. I would expect it to tell me I'm in AT lesson plan template,
Space. Hide side tab.
but it didn't
Enter. The
tell me
toggle is
that.
state. Press space.
And then
Undoubling
using
is
my
undefinied.
arrow keys is a little confusing
Show side panel top.
because
Escape.
I'm not where I think I am. And so oftentimes we see a lot of these struggles, and it comes down to a couple things. The first one is you don't have full mastery of the content, but also there's a misconstrued like idea of how the cursor is navigating through the space. And so I will be very honest with you and say I was inside of Docs earlier, and I am currently right before the address bar. If I tab one time,
Address and search bar edit. Drive.
I'm at the address bar. And so you'll find things like this happen all the time. And it's really easy to get caught up in it. It's really easy to get frustrated about it. And one thing that I like to do is just straight up just reset or reload the page if that happens. In this specific instance, I would tell a student, okay, well, you tried it.
Enter.
Let's
Google
enter.
Drive dash Google Chrome left parent incognito right parent. Google Drive dash Google Chrome left view. Main region. Item list.
And
Grid with
then
5 column.
what's really cool is if you hear that little boop sound, then you are in this table.
Assessments and outreach calendar Tuesday at lesson plan template Google Docs. Assessments and outreach at schedule 25-262.
And so that's one way of kind of circumventing that frustration of like I have no idea where I am or where I'm supposed to be. And this is again, this is all through just
Oxford
using
training.
basic JAWS principles. And then the way that you would get to the new button is so now we want to be
Escape unselected.
out of a list, so I would escape. And then I think it's a button, so I'm going to use B for button.
Escape.
Interesting. So now I'm finding something is interacting with this that I don't think should be. Sorry, I keep hearing something on my end. And so I'm finding, okay, so I thought that I wanted to get to this new button menu. Another way I might do it is, okay, maybe I
Sort button.
just
Filter
click
toolbar type.
tab
Main region. Item list. Grid with.
and then try. But it's still kind of being weird. So this is just in a nutshell, like the experience of someone who is just using JAWS by itself. And so then what happens if you take the time to learn the Google commands? So I'm going to turn off my virtual cursor using my JAWS key
Pause.
and
Pause.
Z. Oh, God.
Pause.
Oh, sorry. That's not my insert key. There we go. Wait.
Escape. Bookshare. 1. Control.
Oh, I think I changed it to caps lock. I did not. One
Use
second.
virtual PC cursor off.
There we go. Uh, just as a disclaimer, I'm using a 60% keyboard, and it doesn't have all of the keys it's supposed to. If I want it to be a full keyboard, I need an extra modifier key. I highly do not recommend if you are in this field that you do this. You definitely should have a full keyboard. So now that my PC cursor is off, if I want to navigate and I want to find my drive, for example, which is in the navigation pane, I would do Alt G,
Folders and views preview. Home. To move.
and then that moves me from wherever I am on this page to the navigation pane. And so then I'm using my arrow keys.
Activity. Workspaces. My drive closed.
Oh, great. I found my drive. And to get in there,
Enter. Loading region. My drive dash Google Drive documents.
and now it's loaded. And because my PC cursor is still off, if I have something named that starts with B instead of trying to find a button, then I can find
HTML share on
an example of a bad site that I made a long time ago. Actually, not a long time ago. This was on October. Or if something starts with a number, then I just start with a 2, and instead of taking me to a heading level 2, it'll take me to that folder. This is, in my opinion, such an easy way to navigate, and it's also reinforcing first letter navigation that we tell students to do all the time. And then if you ever need to use a particular shortcut or don't know how to use a particular shortcut, there is a help menu that you can activate using the control and the slash key.
Keyboard shortcuts dialog.
And it'll have, if it exists, it'll be there, and you have options on what you want to type. So I want to know how to share, for example, and it tells me, oh great, there's a shortcut, and it's Control and Alt and A.
Escape main region.
And so then if I press Control and Alt and A
Alt
on
Control
a file
dialog to navigate
or
use tab
folder,
work.
then
Dialog.
it
Dialog.
brings up that menu, which is super
Escape.
cool.
Document.
If you ever want to move something, it's the same principle. You would control or
Control
the
slash.
slash if you don't know it yet. It would open up the menu and you would type in move. The other option you have is the Shift and F10. Um, let me think about this.
Shift F10. Context menu. Escape. Leave escape.
1 second. Let's just
Main
close it.
region. Item.
Ah,
Tech
I
code 25.
moved some stuff on accident. So I have another modifier I need to find here. So here, here, and here.
Shift F10. Context menu. Menu
Beautiful.
loading. Context menu as pop up
And
to
you
navigate. Press
have
up or down arrow.
your menu where you have organize here,
Shift. Organize menu. Sub menu. 406.
and
Move control
then
plus alt plus M menu. 1 of 20.
I use right arrow to open it up. You can do space, you can do enter, I believe. And then move also has a shortcut associated with it, which is control and alt and M.
Escape. Organ escape. Leaving menu.
And so in a nutshell, trying to use JAWS only when, or rather JAWS keys only when you're navigating in Drive, can feel frustrating, limiting, and may have unintended consequences at times. Students that we have trained to use the Google shortcuts have become so much more efficient, proficient, faster, more confident in how they do things, and we would definitely encourage you all to do the same. It is a slight learning curve in the beginning, but afterwards it's really not that bad. If you want to make a document, for example, you would Alt
Alt T.
C and then T for text, and then it'll take you
T.
to a
Untitled
new
document.
document that you can start editing.
Close document.
If you wanted to make a folder,
Alt
Alt
C.
C, then
New folder.
F, and it brings you to the new folder
Escape. Main.
dialog. If you want to rename something, you can use the F2
F2.
key
Selected. Tech code 25 dash 2.
instead
Escape.
of using the context menu or any other means that you use. And a lot of these things also translate. So like F2, for example, works in your file explorer as well as here, which is super cool. I think that was like a really long-winded way of saying please use the Google shortcuts without the virtual cursor. And I'm going to stop sharing.
All right. Thanks, Max. And Allison, are you ready?
No.
Okay,
You
that's
can ask
fine.
the braille note. You can do the braille note questions. Sorry.
That
No
is fine.
worries.
Okay. I will get to that one last. I think I like is there a benefit to using Drive for desktop over Drive online? Um, I have tested both at this point, and I like them both. I think that the benefit of using Drive for desktop versus Drive online is that you are integrating your students' file navigation, folder management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, within the confines of a local network, I guess, where you have all of these like files that aren't necessarily contingent on you having internet. Like when you have a Microsoft Word document that you make on your desktop, you can find it in a directory that exists outside of the internet. And I think that if you teach students about this system and then move to um, Drive for desktop, it's not as jarring a change, and they're not having to learn and relearn systems. So it is, I think, easier in that sense, but it has a different kind of learning curve where I mean, you still are going to be uploading something to the internet, and so you have to have the knowledge of if I create a document and it's not in the specific folder that I've designated to be synced online, then I won't be able to find it if I'm using the web version. I think that the web version offers just a lot more versatility in that sense, where you are already connected to the internet, presumably, and you are editing within that context, and then you can always interact with other people's documents that have been shared with you without having to go through as many menus as you might have to with Drive for desktop. Um, I don't think either one is better or worse than the other. I think that they're just slightly different systems. I like the idea of Drive for desktop personally because you're reinforcing a lot of Windows-based things that again will transfer. Um, and I just think that they're. Ooh, I see Alison. That they're both fine.
All right, thanks, Max.
Hmm.
You can keep going.
Okay. Well, I also think that if you keep it within like using Windows-based commands, and you're not having to also learn the Drive Online ones, that if you have a student that is going to be primarily working in an environment that isn't online, I think it's great. But what you will find is a lot of schools, if not all schools, I can't speak in absolutes here, use online portals. So if you have a student that is going to be working on Google Classroom or Canva, or in my age, it was School Loop, in these online portals, then it might be helpful to learn Drive Online, because you can learn both the JAWS way and the Google commands way. Because a lot of these portals also have their own built-in shortcuts and like commands. And so yeah, do with that information what you will. I think they're all fine, and they all come with caveats.
Great.
Okay. So you probably hear an echo. Do you hear an echo?
Just slightly.
Very slight, yeah.
Okay. I have a Chromebook connected. The echo is definitely impacting me. Um, um, so I have a Chromebook connected, and we got a lot of questions about um, Braille displays with the Chromebook. And that is not the issue I'm having right now. I cannot seem to figure out how to get my Zoom to work on a Chromebook. There should have been a Chrome and Zoom question. But essentially, I have chosen to use a Brilliant, the superior of Braille displays. And maybe if I turn my computer, you can maybe see. I don't know. Okay. What are you guys able to see with my camera views?
We can see the Braille display
Woohoo!
and the screen of your computer and the keyboard and you.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So I have this Braille display, and maybe you guys might be able to hear ChromeBox when I disconnect it. So currently it's connected to my Chromebook via a USB-C cord. I personally think that USB-C cord, when possible, is the easiest and best way to connect to anything. So I'm going to disconnect it, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to connect. So my Braille display is not connected, and the great thing about Chromebooks, we don't say that very often, but the great thing about Chromebooks is it literally is plug and play. Okay, so it said Chromebox is on, so just to be clear, Chromebox does need to be turned on to be able to use a Braille display with a Chromebook, just like you need any screen reader to be turned on if you're going to use a Braille display with a device. And so Chromebox is really nice, and it just immediately said my Braille display was connected, and it generally does this with every Braille display that I've tried. So it did this with a Focus 40, and it did this with a Chameleon. And so it's already telling me on the device Braille output, the exact same thing that ChromeVox just said. So it says update device, learn more about the update. And so you can navigate your screen using your panning buttons that are on the display, just like you would use your arrows. And so I'm in this like dialogue now for the update, but let's go to a different area, hopefully. Oh my
Press search plus space to activate. No next editable text field. Dialog. Address insert font.
Okay, so I just opened up a new tab and I'm in the address bar and I can type in something like Wikipedia. And so I'm typing with the Braille display. And now I can navigate using
Expand list box.
my thumb keys.
Space. Another /8/8/. With a /8.
So, I know this demo is a little odd, and I don't know which computer to look at. But essentially, the point is that Braille displays are very plug and play with the Chromebook. It's the one awesome good thing the Chromebook does have going for it. And then, so that was my demo. Sorry, it was different than expected. And sorry for the echo.
No, that was great. Thank you, Allison. And there was a question about universal design. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. Let me close the Chromebook. Okay. Oh, that echo was really difficult for me to sit through. Okay, so we did this a little out of order because my Chromebook needs an update because all the technology needs an update when you have a demo. I should have recorded it. But this answer was supposed to be answering right before we talked about the JAWS versus Chromebook keyboard commands. And so my whole thing was about universal design. So universal design in education refers to things that have been made with accessibility integrated in ground up. So that looks like things that have ways of accessing without the use of additional kind of like overlays in a way. So for example, using JAWS commands to interact with the workspace applications would be an overlay, but using the in-app keyboard access would be the universal design. And a lot of companies are starting to do this. Microsoft has started a little bit with the programs online. So like Outlook Online has its own set of in-app keyboard commands, not as robust as Gmail, but it has had a few come out. But the point of that is kind of shifting the mindset. When we have these programs, we're used to really kind of teaching JAWS and screen readers in a way where we're using like going to headings and going to links via tab, but those when you match up those kind of ways, strategies of navigating against the ways that the companies build into their programs, they're usually building efficiency because the intent is for all users to be able to have access to those keyboard commands, so anybody can use them. Anybody can with any computer. If you take any computer and log into any Chrome profile, they have access to those commands. They usually lend themselves to more efficiency um, and more immediate access. So that was going to just be our little talk about universal design and good things that companies are doing and kind of shifting that teacher perspective sometimes to understanding um, if a app or program, I kind of think of like Canvas or some of the online learning tools and curriculums that are being used by different districts. Some of those might have built-in keyboard access, and um, it becomes a lot easier to maybe do a function in a program by looking towards that keyboard access rather than re relying solely on the traditional uh, JAWS style navigating. And that's all I wanted to chat about. Would have made more sense right before Max's demo, but here we are. And that's it. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Well, like I said earlier, this is live, folks. We're sometimes things don't go the way that we planned. And especially with technology, sometimes I think that happens. So, I believe we covered all the questions for tonight. Allison, so I mentioned earlier our next Tech After Hours will be about AI. Do you want to say a little more about that? Just a little preview for folks?
So we chose to do AI because we're going to be attending the CSUN conference in a couple of weeks, and we anticipate a bunch of features within apps and different tools to be really AI focused. And we've been getting a lot of outreach consult requests about what to do when AI enters the classroom, and though seeing the benefits weighing against the cons that are around when using AI. And so we hope to have some really cool things to share. So we will be answering questions about AI and AI integration and tools, but also think about AI integration in terms of like for you teachers, assessments and lessons. So just think about those things too when um, asking your questions or registering. But yeah, we wanted to touch on AI and hopefully we have questions to answer, but also hopefully we have some really cool things to share after the CSUN conference.
That should be fun. All right, I think we have covered everything for this month. And Max, do you have anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, thank you all for your continued support. We do not take tips, but if you email me on the side, I'm happy to take bribes.
You want to
Uh,
share your Venmo with people?
nope.
All
And
right.
that's
Well,
it. Thank
Thank
you all.
you.
thanks everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.